everyone, it's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be sharing our thoughts on the brand new Marvel trailer that got released this last week of New Mutants, which is a Fox X-Men tie-in. Let's just say this trailer literally said to me, not interested. I'm going to put that straight out the back. I do not like horror movies. I don't like thriller things. I like my superhero movies. What is this? This just looked to me like if you took that Marvel Flash off the front, it would just look like some generic Halloween movie that comes out at this time of the year that I avoid like the plague. This really was actually for me a complete disappointment to the point where I just went, this might be the first X-Men movie I will probably wait till Netflix, because I ain't going to go see it at the cinema. I might rent it to do a review. But that's going to be, if it wasn't for the site, I don't know if I'd even be bothering with that. This just looked awful to me.
Yeah, if it didn't have the Marvel logo, if it wasn't part of the X-Men franchise, I would be skipping this, absolutely. But it is part of the X-Men franchise, and more than that, it's bearing the name of one of my favorite comics from when I was growing up, which was the New Mutants. Now, granted, I read most of them after the fact. I'm not quite that old. It started coming out in '83, I think. And there's a certain amount of attachment I have to it, but at the same time, based on what we saw in the trailer, this version of the New Mutants has nothing to do with the comic book. The characters are the same. We saw Wolfsbane in it briefly. We know that, Danny Moonstar are in it, got characters like that. But this story bears no resemblance to any New Mutant story I recall at all.
No, it just, one way I applaud them for doing something a little bit different. They're obviously going, we've done too much of the superhero genre, we do not need, so let's try a different approach. And comic books do this, they try, if they don't always try to follow, Fox seem to be going in a different direction. I think they realise that there's too many sort of Avenger, Justice League kind of things happening, so let's try and do something different. Deadpool was different. Logan was different, but I love Logan. Logan worked very, very well, but it completely was different to any of the other Wolverine movies. They're looking at different genres, looking at different ways of approaching superheroes. So I go do that, but maybe for me this is that thing of the style of movie is not my type of movie, full stop, so therefore that is why it puts me off.
Yeah, and I agree. This is not the type of movie that I would be watching if it didn't have the X-Men logo on it. And I also agree that, it's very important for Fox to be taking this direction. They're not going to out-Avengers Marvel, period. They've tried. It hasn't worked. They got some decent stories out of it, but nothing near what we've gotten from Marvel. They're still doing better than DC for the most part, but we'll see how Justice League pans out.
Do you know what? I forgot it was out next month. That was how bad I thought about Justice League. But we got 4 Ragnarok in about a week's time.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. We're not talking about that right now.
But even the trailer, like the thumbnail. I just literally was. I'm always on. I'm on YouTube. Hit my subscription thing, and there was this New Mutants trailer with this girl going, "Ah!" And I'm there like, I went, I'm sure that's a Marvel one. I literally, for a second, the thumbnail did not indicate to me that it was like New Mutants. I clicked on the trailer and I'm there going, it wasn't until and then it started and it wasn't, because even the Marvel logo wasn't straight up the bat. That had waited 10, 20, 30 seconds into the trailer before they flashed that up, and I was like, okay. I watched it like 3 times, and yeah, this one's odd. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so this girl that's in it that everyone is like, I'm just like, okay, doesn't mean anything to me. The character, it's just like, it feels almost like what they tried to do with Legion, where they went in and I didn't like that TV show, where they all seem to be locked up. I don't know, it just seems an odd way of doing it.
Yeah, it definitely did have a Legion feel to it. And Legion, the character, is actually closely connected to the New Mutants, so I was kind of wondering if they might try and tie the two together, which I think would probably actually be a mistake. But yeah, I got the same vibe. There's that kind of mental hospital institute kind of feel. It could even be the same one that was in the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, Maisie Williams is in it. She's playing Wolfsbane, but she's barely in the trailer. She appears for like a flash, and the focus is definitely on some of the other characters instead.
Yeah, I think for me it was like, you got this generic blonde actress screaming. You've got a dumbwitted American boy that's like, oh, where am I going? And then suddenly you get
Cannibal.
and then you get, because I don't know the character, so I'm looking at this completely just like, you're X-Men and you did. There's something in a washing machine. It's like, and it's getting closer and closer, and you're there going, oh, it's going to jump, and boom, there is. This is the time where when me and my wife started dating, we went to see a horror movie. That kind of stepping out thing of trying to work out what you both like. At which point we come out of a movie, and I've laughed 3/4 of the way through the movie because every time there was something funny or scary, I could see it coming a mile off, and so I was like, "Oh my god, that's so pathetic!" And I just do not like it. And yeah, this movie. I mean, there'll be some fans that might be like, "This is the best Marvel movie since ever," but this is not my kind of movie. And this trailer literally, this movie's just gone straight into the, there might be people that love it. I'd love to know if you do like it and you did love it. Let me know, because I love to know if there is an audience. Is there someone actually? Am I just way off?
There are a lot of horror fans out there.
Yeah.
I know several of them, and then obviously it's a very popular genre. It did extremely well at the American box office this year. I think it was the highest grossing R-rated horror movie for quite some time. So there's definitely an audience.
Oh, the Horror Nights. I mean, I know my sister-in-law, she loves all these kind of movies. I know some of my staff, the girls, they always love watching, they nothing better for them to get a horror movie, sit under a duvet and scream and be scared. And like, that doesn't do it for me. But yeah, it's an odd one. I do applaud them for trying something different. It's just not for me. Right. I think that's the way to take it.
I think the real issue I have with it right now is that the New Mutants do have a horror story in their background. It's called the Demon Bear Saga. It was very early in the New Mutants run. And it's still possible that saga is what this is going to be based on. One of the characters has telepathic powers, and her powers specifically tend to draw out your worst nightmares and project them and make them at least partially real.
Well, I'm guessing that's what the thing's coming at the wall is.
Right. I'm suspecting that they're still going with that basic idea. However, they're leaving the Demon Bear Saga part of it out, and they're going for more generic. Honestly, I'd be far more interested if there was an indication that we were going with the Demon Bear Saga, because I at least have a certain amount of attachment to that, having read it a long time ago and having a certain nostalgia factor to it, which I suspect is true for a lot of, older X-Men fans who grew up with the New Mutants while it was still a new comic, or right after it was a new comic when it turned into X-Force. But this trailer didn't give me much hope for that.
No.
And I'm still going to see it because it is an X-Men movie. And I at least want to, give it a shot. But if when it comes out, if the reviews are not so hot, if the trailers aren't building up the hype, I might wait for it to come down to one of the $2 theaters, because we do still have one or two of those around where they'll get the movie in the theater right before it releases on DVD, and you can watch it for like $2. And I might do it that way.
It's very odd. I feel very like in a weird place with like sort of superhero television and movies, where it felt like 18 months ago, 2 years ago, we were on a crest of awesomeness. And this year, I will be honest, it feels like it's just kind of gone flush, because there are so many TV shows that I've stopped watching because I got bored of it, or the quality wasn't good. There's new stuff coming which I am not excited about. I remember recording episodes of Abe 2 years ago saying superhero saturation, superhero fatigue. I've got it. I'm excited about Thor Ragnarok. Kind of want to see Justice League. But I just feel like they've just flooded the market. This movie doesn't need to be there. There's too many TV shows. We've got Runaways and Cloak and Dagger coming up this winter. Inhumans hasn't even started yet for me, and it just feels like we've got the Punisher coming as well. There's just too much, and the quality is just being watered down. I've stopped watching all the DC TV series, and I wonder if we're going to hit that brick in about a year or two where the companies start going, these aren't making as much money as they used to. I mean, I think Avengers and stuff are still that'll be fine, but I still think it's all been watered down too much.
Well, they're already saying that they're expecting Thor Ragnarok to not make as much money as previous movies like Iron Man 3, which generally is not considered one of the better Marvel movies. Not a bad one, but not one of the better ones. And, Thor Ragnarok looks great. There's a lot of hype going into that, but if they're saying it's not going to make as much as some of the earlier titles, then that is a good indication that we've hit the saturation point, which ironically is actually what makes what Fox is doing with the New Mutants a really good idea. Now, it might not appeal to you or myself, but there's a whole bunch of people out there who don't mind that mashup between superhero and horror, and this gives them something different. Justice League, I'm not expecting to be any different from Batman v Superman. Hopefully better than Batman v Superman, but stylistically, thematically, it's going to be the same. Thor is going to be more of the same. Avengers is going to be more of the same. There's nothing wrong with that, but like you said, we're definitely at that saturation.
And I feel like I do think Fox are trying to work out what to do with the X-Men characters, that they're grabbing all the little we've got the Gifted that hasn't even, again, another TV show I've not started watching, because it all just looks like it's like, we're going to do a brand new Avengers TV series, but we're only going to give you Hawkeye. And it's like, we're doing X-Men, but we're not getting Cyclops. Well, they are the ones we love, and you're just giving us just the extras. And I don't know. I'm very much like, this one didn't work. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Remember, you can like, follow, and subscribe on whichever video platform or audio platform you are watching or listening on. And if you're on any of them, feel free to leave us reviews, feedback, etc. Love to know your thoughts. James, where can they find you?
I'm heroiclegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.